What's up, people? How's everybody doing? On this following the holiday Monday, what is up, everybody? Hope everybody's had a good here in the States, that is. Everybody had a good holiday weekend. It is time for the crazy Mr. Gooniac show. We have Nate along with his tag along guest here in a few minutes, but wanted to give everybody a shout out. Mr. David Schneider, all the way across the country on the East Coast, was the very first person here. What's up, David Schneider? Big Chris was here. Maybe he still is here. George Watts, what's up? Mike SSI. Those George Watts and Mike SSI are members too, so thanks for that, guys. Also, members, I'm going to be posting up some funny stuff here in a little bit that only members will get to see. So if you haven't joined yet, click the little link in the description there to join up so you can see some of the goofy shenanigans that go on here. Mr. EQRC, what's up? Don Shack, Skip Built RC, I saw your video. Haven't gotten all the way through it, but started it. Thanks for posting that. Spencer Keith, the crazy madman of flying. What's up? Andy Cho, what's happening? Mr. Mike Bird, all the way across the pond over there in the UK. What's up? Who else? Dennis Farley, what's happening? Pete Lane, what's up? Alan Gentry, my Oakdale buddy, what's happening? JT200 driver, PL Luxury Reviews. Who else? Lots of people. John T, what's up, John T? That name died along with the person who coined it, so I don't use that anymore. Victor Shamulus, Mr. JCV67. Cool. Thank you guys for coming. I see 24 people in here so far. I'm hoping that this show will be informative for you guys because it's kind of cool for me. I've been, a little weird about this whole forward programming and smart technology and all that stuff, but it was kind of cool over the weekend with Nate. I went and checked out his new F-16. We're going to go over all of that. And after that, we're going to go over the forward programming. And then I also have the Xfly. Hopefully you guys got to see that video just before. Pilot Ryan Muty, what's up? How you doing, man? And Ron, what's happening? So all you guys, I'll try to shout out everybody as I see them. But wanted to get some of that stuff out there. Talk about the F-16. The final thoughts. Nate got a few flights in over the weekend. I was there to watch it. Took some video, but it was a pretty cool plane. But I was blown away by the features that the new Smart ESC and the AR637 TA. Let's see what they're capable of. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna go over that. Nate will show us a little bit, tell us a little bit what he thinks about the plane. And then we also, last week, we were able to do some new testing with the Xfly unit. Nate put the Xfly in his Gripen, and pretty dang impressive update. The plane is totally changed. We also did all those amp readings. We did that on the show the other day. But yeah, the Gripen, if you want to see a dramatic change in an airplane, the Gripen made a dramatic change with the Xfly unit. I know it probably would have been good with the FMS unit as well, but the Xfly has that little bit extra that the FMS does not. So I haven't seen a whole lot of questions or anything, so we may as well just get started. So I see Nate's already there and he's ready. So add him to the show.
What's up?
There he is. There's Mr. Super Dingus.
Super Dingus and Little Dingus.
There's Jack. Hello, Jack. Hey guys, that guy is only, how old is he now? 10?
10.
And he flies EDFs better than
you.
Pretty much, not me, but pretty much everybody.
Oh,
Jack is a dang good pilot.
Yeah, he's He's spending the week with us. Camp Kagul, I guess.
Cool.
Dennis Farley, yeah. But I don't fly any less than I did before. But it's one of those things of I would only fly it about 3 to 4 minutes before with the stock setup, but I wasn't worried about it. But now it's like I have a 3.5 minute timer on the Gripen, and I respect it.
Yeah. The peak drawings on the Xfly unit are higher, and it's higher for a reason. Unless we're talking about something else. You're talking about the Gripen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Xfly unit, the peak readings are higher, so you will want to respect that timer a little bit.
I got the perfect test bed for the forward programming.
Cool. What are you gonna do?
It's a Hawk.
Cool.
It's my new Hawk.
Okay.
My new Hawk.
Very, very cool.
Jack didn't want his, so he didn't. I don't know why. He didn't want it. So it's usually the other way around. But I guess he gave me his plane.
So I have a little list of things that we're going to go over. Why don't you tell us about the F-16? What do you think of that?
Oh, dude, the thing is badass, to say the least. I have it sitting over right there.
Okay. Just give everybody your thoughts. I mean, I showed the video of you flying, and I know what I think about it, but you say what you think because you're the pilot. You make the call.
No, it's awesome. I got it Saturday, and then within 2 hours it was ready to go, and I drove out to the field and flew it the same day I built it. Looks really good. All the plastic is cool. It's a great airplane. It flies amazing.
Yeah, the plastic is actually a huge step up.
Plastic on the canopy, the leading edge extensions, all that. It's a great airplane. And I went with I can kind of show you. I went with the Wild Weasel scheme. Looks really sick. But yeah, in terms of flying, it flies great. It doesn't fly heavy, surprisingly. Lands really well. It's got the typical thing with most F-16s where when the gear's down, it pulls right a little bit because of the gear door hanging out. But you can fight that. It's not that big a deal. There's one thing though that we do have to talk about: the ESC.
Yes, we're going to. But go ahead. Just go talk about it now.
Okay. So I was flying it. The main flight was great.
I got to chase a squirrel off. Go ahead.
Legal squirrel breeder. Okay, so we will have to talk about one thing though, about this F-16 and the fact that so I was flying it. Maiden flight was great, but I wasn't pushing it. And on the second flight, towards the end of the battery, like I was gonna do a fast pass and bring it in and land. It started making a surging sound, like it was hitting LVC, but it was like it wasn't like a dude kind of thing. It was like a little. And I was like, and I wasn't losing RPMs. It was just like surging. So I was like, okay. I landed, didn't think I didn't really, I mean, maybe thought, oh, maybe I hit LVC kind of thing, whatever. But it wasn't like that. It was just like it was weird. It wasn't like the battery was dead kind of thing. But it was really weird. But then I flew it again, but only like a minute into the flight, it was doing the same thing. I was like, okay, something's up. So I landed, and the first thing I was saying, okay, let me check the ESC, which with the Spectrum Avian ESC and the 637 receiver, you can actually go in your radio and reprogram the ESC. So when you're on your main screen, you just scroll over to the right and you get your ESC pop up. And we went into the ESC parameter menu, and we noticed two things. The timing was set to 15 degrees, which for a four-pole in-runner motor is too much.
Too high.
You said what, you want like 4 and 7?
Between 4 and 7 is what you start with.
So we bumped that down to the minimum it would go was 5.
5, which is perfect.
So we went down to 5. And then also the LVC was set to wasn't it like 3.5 or 3.6?
It was 3.6, which is way too freaking high.
Yeah, the LVC was set to 3.6 volts.
Yeah.
Which is way too high for an EDF because once you start burning into your battery, it's going to sag below 3.6 volts.
Yeah.
So we set the timing to low, and I disabled the cutoff, and that fixed the problem. Luckily, with the smart ESC, smart radio, or smart receiver, smart whatever, you could do it in the radio. You don't have to plug it in anything.
Yeah.
do it in the radio, reboot the ESC, and it was fine.
It was
So that's
really,
the only thing. That's the only thing that I will have to say. And my buddy Keon got his, and his did the same thing. So it's not just mine. So yeah, check that. If your plane starts making a surging sound, just go in and disable the low voltage cutoff.
before you even fly it, I'd go in and check everything just to make sure. That
yeah, and having the timing off just makes it even worse because it just makes it run a little hotter than it.
So, and that's another thing too. And it was able to show all the telemetry, so we're able to see that we'll see what the ESC temp was, which was really high. It was like 156 on the first flight. Once he changed the timing, it dropped down like 30, almost 40 degrees. It was down to 120. And then he also was able to check the max amps. So with the 15 degree timing, the amps were like over 120.
Yeah.
At full, which is going to cut your flight time and also make the motor hot. So then he cut that back, and it dropped the amps down to the usual, which it normally
it was about 111 after
111 peak, which is normal.
So I'll plug in the airplane and I'll show you.
Yeah.
Normal mode.
You won't be able to see the plane, but
you don't need to see the plane.
No, I'm just gonna plug in the plane and go into the menu.
Okay. Once you get everything up, I'll give you the screen too, so people can see.
I would put the plane in the frame. I'll probably do it later, but I don't have enough room right now.
No, don't worry about the plane. It's not. You don't have to worry about seeing the plane. So you're probably not going to show on screen what you've got to do to get it to go into it.
No, okay. So to fix this, you're in here on your main screen. Scroll over all the way till you get to Avian Program. And then the first step is low throttle, up elevator, left aileron. And for some reason, sometimes it doesn't work the first try, so let me just try it. So up elevator, left aileron.
So RC Air Marshal, that's one of our master EDF pilots, Jack. That's who else you're seeing in there. That's Jack. He's staying with Nate this week. Jack's only 10 years old, but he's been flying EDS for 4 years already.
Okay, it didn't work the first try. Hold on, let me reboot everything and see if it works. I don't know why. Sometimes it does. Hashtag technology.
Look what he's doing. What are you doing, Jack?
Let me power cycle everything. It did this one time at the field too, where it didn't work the first try.
But even though it might take you 1 or 2 tries, this is really easy. It negates the whole reason, the whole need for a programming card.
Throttle cut.
So yeah, that's actually really cool. Works out really good. You can do all those settings from the radio.
What the heck?
Pretty dang cool. Is there something you're missing?
No, I don't know why it's not entering the menu. That's weird. Well, you know what? Let me just try something. Let me try something else.
We've got nothing but time. We can wait. We're all good.
I just want to test something though, actually.
Go ahead.
I think what I'll do, I'll just plug it into the Draco.
Whatever works, whatever's the easiest.
Because I tried to do this yesterday in preparation for the show, and it did the same thing. I mean, even if you don't see it in the F-16 specifically, as long as you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah, because it's the same for anything.
It's
just right up. RC Air Marshals, the kind of stuff he's gonna like. Actually, I think he might have even done something about this, but people have been asking me all day how, because I wrote up a little review on the F-16 flight from over the weekend. So people have wanted to see it, asking if we can do it.
Yeah, for some reason, I tried to do this yesterday on the F-16. It wasn't working either, so let me try it on the Draco. See? So now it works on the Draco. So now after you've done your up elevator left aileron, you go in up elevator right aileron. Okay, so now you're in the ESC menu. I don't know why it's not working on the F-16 right now.
Before you go, how did you get into that again?
You go, when you're on your main screen, you use your scroll wheel. Without clicking, just scroll over to the right till you get to Avian Program. show you. Scroll over. So now you have to do the stick movements, but now you're in here. So you use your up elevator and down elevator to go through the menu. So you can see cutoff is set to surge. This is on the Draco, so there's going to be a low voltage cutoff set. So first, you see there's the cutoff voltage, which if you're on the F-16, disable that. I'm not going to mess with it on the Draco because it's a Draco. For some reason, my F-16 is not working, but change your BEC or your current volt to shut off it. Just disable that completely. And then also on the F-16, the timing up here, change that down to 5. So, and then when you're done, you go through your menu. So you get to the last page, and then there's exit with save, and you just go, and it reboots the ESC.
Normal mode. Throttle cut.
Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't booting up in the F-16, but you get it now.
And people might ask again, so you might have to walk through the steps and how to do it, but it should be pretty easy.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm gonna find the video from Spectrum that I used when I was doing the Draco, because for some reason when I got my Draco, the reverse was defaulted to the wrong channel. But I found a video on Spectrum's YouTube channel that explained it absolutely perfectly. So I will find that video and I will link it in the chat. So if my dumbass didn't make it,
the most important thing, guys, before you fly the F-16, if you've gotten it, do these steps and look in your ESC, because if stuff is set the way that Nate's was, you're going to have a short flight. Check to make sure that your timing is set to the lowest setting, which is 5. That's your cutoff voltage. You don't have to turn it all the way off, but I'd always recommend turning it all the way off. If
you're flying an EDF and you don't know when to land, you shouldn't be flying an EDF.
Yeah, but make it 3.2 or turn it completely off. As I've said before, you'd rather heat up a battery than lose your plane. And then if there is a way to adjust your cutoff to make it a soft cut or a surge, you could leave that or turn it completely off. And you can also set it to alarm you when it's gotten too low without having to cut anything off.
Alan, he's coming here. Joey's Joey's
When's he coming? When's he gonna
come? He's flying on the 11th, I think.
Of July?
August. Oh no, August.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't find the video.
I see it. Okay.
Just if I didn't explain it well enough, if you go on the Spectrum YouTube channel, there's a video there that explains it really well. But it's super easy. But yeah,
RC Air Marshal, I have no idea why they set it so high at 3.6. 3.2 is even kind of low, but you're not going to take it that far. Well, under load, it might.
To me,
towards the end of the pack, it'll be 3.2.
Ray said the same thing. I'd rather kill the battery myself than the plane start doing weird shit and shutting off. Yeah. But yeah, that was kind of weird. But once we did that, it was perfect.
Yeah, but that was kind of cool being able to see.
If you have an F-16 and if you go into your radio and you notice you can't get there, update your radio. I had to update mine to get that to work, but it's not that hard to update.
It's surprising how easy that was to do.
Yeah, and you'll get to see how easy it is to set up AS3X here in a little bit, because I've got a new airplane due. I'm actually going to quote Jack on this. It's pretty funny. He said this earlier. He's like, "Hey Nate, you got 2 planes today, 3 planes this week. You're doing pretty good."
Yeah, it's but it was and I'm not, the forward programming for the gyro was pretty cool too, seeing how you could go in and change that, because when you flew your Futura, figured out that the gain was a little high on the rudder, you made that change like right there. Done. What's up, GB? I don't know if I said hi to you already or if you showed up. Or
everybody. I didn't really say hi to anybody. I was just kind of.
So yeah, I'll try to say hi to people as they
Alan, I don't know about that, man. That's a long drive. We'll see.
Well, it was a long drive to Jet Jam too, but you guys still did it.
That was a one-time thing of the year.
Yeah, Oakdale
guys.
It's going to be kind of hot too, so we'll see.
Yeah, but I am doing well. Yeah, but other than that little ESC hiccup thing, the F-16 is badass.
Yeah, it flew good. Flew
That
good.
landing, though.
Yep.
I will give myself that one.
You don't have to.
That was a direct crosswind too on that landing in the.
Thanks for coming,
Yeah.
GB.
Yeah.
To the premiere and to here. Thank you. So yeah.
Air Marshal. It's I watched your video for the Ford programming because I had a bunch of AR637 TAs and I was like, can I use these? And I'm like, yeah. So I put one in this test bed, which is this FMS Hawk that Jack gave me. I also put one in something new though that you guys haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
so if I'm gonna, you want to do the Ford programming now or what?
Do it. I don't care.
Okay.
What people want to see.
I'm gonna do it on my phone so you guys can like see the plane too.
Yeah.
So I'll join the stream from my phone, so you can see the plane when I'm doing because there's a little bit of movement with the airplane.
When you're ready for it, I'll just put it up on the screen. But for now, it's gonna stay as it is.
Yeah.
You can get set up.
Burpus dingus. Jack, you could say something. You don't have to be quiet, guys.
He just goes.
Yeah. Don't worry. We're not. He's having fun. Don't worry.
So
Camp Google. What do you got to say for yourself, Jack?
It's fun.
What's fun?
Camp Google.
Camp Google's fun. That's good. Okay, I got to do this real quick. Hold up. My name's Nate. Enter the studio.
Okay, you there? Turn your mic off.
What the heck?
Turn your mic and your volume down.
Oops. Okay. Is it still echoing?
No, it's fine. Check your private chat too when you get a chance.
What? What are you saying? What'd you say? Oh. Okay.
Talk about that later. But we need to talk to Helen about that too. Can't be crazy this year because it might not. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So when you get set up, let me know. I'll turn it over there. But as I've said before, guys, I want this show to be about sharing knowledge and helping people figure stuff out that they couldn't have otherwise. So that's what
okay.
we're
I'm good.
to do. You ready? All right.
Yeah.
I see a hawk. Let's add this to the stream. There we go. Okay, so once you get ready to do more stuff, then I will even move that out the way. What's that fuzzy thing? I can't hear you. Nate, leave the mic on the computer, and then do the camera. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Huh?
Now I can hear you. So just leave the mic on the computer.
Okay.
And then we can hear you fine there. And then just look at the hawk.
All right. Let me take you guys around a little bit real quick, though. You guys have it. So, does it sound okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
All right. You guys haven't actually seen my garage in a while because I haven't been there. But, typical. There's the
Move slow so you don't make people sick.
There's the F-16. But I did get something new that you guys have not seen yet. I got my FMS 1500mm P47, and this kind of worked out because I got this from Hobby Zone, and Hobby Zone's doing their little price increase. So what you're about to see me do with the Hawk is what I did in this earlier with a little bit of AS3X action. But yeah,
Cool.
16 badass, and this is my new Hawk. The tail is a little crinkled by the previous owner, and the decals got messed up. The
For
decals
what?
stock, so I'm like repainting the red and the white. It's actually turning out pretty good. Okay, let's do this. Okay. So you want to do some forward programming now, huh? So the start of the forward programming deal, you've got your airplane. Before you start doing any of the programming, you have to have the airplane pretty much all set up. Let me get on the airplane. Cover my speaker because it's 4 years out. Okay. So you've got your airplane, you just built it, yada yada, you bound it up. So the first thing is you got to get your receiver mounted. And the nice thing about these new AR637Ts or TAs is they can be mounted in many different ways. So basically there's 24 different ways you can mount it. You can mount it pins facing backwards, flat on either side or upside down. You can mount it pins forward, both sides or upside down. You can mount it pins left, side, upside down side, pins that way, side, whatever. You can also mount it pins down or with all those 4 ways or pins up. So there's 6 ways you can mount it and 4 different ways it can be rotated. So 24 different orientations. And obviously your antenna placement is pretty crucial. So with the 637s, I usually do one antenna going forward. So I got one antenna down in here, and then I've got the other antenna going to my side right up in here. And I have some pretty high quality double stick tape I hold down with these. And generally you want to use the double stick tape because it like dampens out vibrations from the airplane. But these EDFs don't much, so it's not that big a deal. So get your receiver mounted, and then after you've got your receiver mounted, you have to go through and pretty much make sure your airplane is set up. So if you got to adjust sub trims or travels or dual rates or anything, you pretty much want to do that. Like you want to check, make sure everything is going the right way and everything. Basically, you don't mind dog bark. You basically want to
Even a dog barking, Air Marshal, that's the same as you.
You basically want to get the airplane basically ready to fly before you do this. And it says to have it trimmed too, but if you're doing a couple clicks of trim, it's not going to affect it much, so that's fine. But, okay, you're ready to do your gyro program. So, we're going to go down in here in our radio. We're going to go to forward programming.
Warning, throttle cut off.
You'd have your throttle cut on. If you're doing this with a prop, then obviously don't be an idiot, take prop off.
Warning, throttle cut off. Throttle
Okay,
cut.
so this is what you'll see when you're in your forward programming. Oops. You're going to see gyro settings and other settings. So you go to gyro settings, and it says first time setup. So this is, with this receiver, with the AR637TA, it came out of a BNF plane. So what I did then was I went into forward programming that's going to have all the settings. So what you do then is you go to other settings, scroll through, and if you want, like if you think you're going to put that receiver back on that plane, you can hit save to backup, which will basically save that entire model. So if you ever put that receiver back in that particular BNF plane, you'll be good. And then after you've saved to backup, you go to factory reset. So basically, right now, this receiver is acting as though, with the first time setup, this is acting as though there's no gyro. It doesn't know what it's in. It doesn't know anything about whatever. Okay, so here, first time setup. Click it. And it's going to say, make sure the model has been configured, including wing type, reversing, travel, trimmed, etc., before continuing setup. Next. Any wing type, channel assignment, sub-trim, or servo reversing changes require running through the initial setup again. So if you do this setup and you're like, oh crap, my ailerons are reversed, you got to do this again. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, make sure your plane is basically ready to fly before you start doing this. Next. Okay, so this is when the receiver wants to know its orientation. So you're going to say, it's going to say, set the model level and press continue. So our model is level, continue. Now it's going to say, set the model on its nose, press continue. So I'm actually going to have Jack help me out here. So Jack, when I say press continue, press the button. So you're going to set the model on its nose. Oh shit. And just kind of make sure it's pretty straight. So go ahead and press the button, Jack. Okay? So it did it. And if the plane wasn't level or it wasn't on its nose, it would have been like invalid. Okay, so now this is the orientation menu. So it automatically detects the orientation, but again, you can go through, there is all 24 different ways, but Mine is orientation 1 with the pins facing towards the tail of the airplane and the receiver's flat. So that's good. Continue. Now you can select your gain channel. And I usually do that in the other menu. So go back or hit next. You hit apply. Okay. And we go back, click for menu. Okay, and then now we can set the other settings. We go to other settings. System setup. Gain channel select. So I usually set it to the knob, which means you can have the gains adjustable. So now when you go in here, so you go back AS3X and AS3X gains. So it's going to default your gains to roll 40, pitch 50, yaw 60. So now with it being on the knob, and of course, you have to go above 25% throttle to get the AS3X to work. So if you turn your knob all the way up, you're going to get the 40, 50, 60.
You gotta run it out.
Did it not select the gain channel?
No, you didn't give it throttle. There you go.
Did I not select the gain
You
channel?
didn't give it throttle.
I might have actually not selected the gain channel. Hold on a second. No, I did.
I just don't think you ran it up, that's all.
Normal mode.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, with your knob all the way up, you're going to get that 40, 50, 60. And of course, you want to check, you roll left or roll right, ailerons go left, nose goes down, elevator goes up, nose goes left, rudder goes right. So that's all good. So now, the 40, 50, 60 is your full gain. So now if you turn your knob back, you can get less. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you want to adjust your gains, like say, you fly it, you can use the default settings, but like the P47, I almost copied like the P51 settings. But like, if you flew with the default settings, you can, okay, I want more of this and less of that. You're flying, you want to change something, go back to your forward programming, gyro settings, AS3X settings, AS3X gains, and you can just adjust your gains right then and there. So I don't really know what this hawk's going to want, but generally they want a little bit of roll and the pitch and, mostly, whatever. So I'll fly with the default settings, and I can change it from what I want to I want, So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the forward programming in a nutshell. It's easy. If you want to actually, dive deep into, the technical bits, go watch Air Marshal's channel.
Hey, Air Marshal, if you're there, go ahead and drop that link too, because
Post the link to your playlist because
you go pretty in depth with all that stuff.
This
Drop
is
the link.
dirty.
We'll see it.
Because you can also do save. You can set up the panic recovery, which I don't need that crap. So,
Wreck and Roy, he's got a DX9.
So
it has to be updated. But a DX9
DX radio, IX, or NX radio, as long as they're up to date, you can do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. But of course, if you want to see the more technical bits, go watch Dave's channel because he does it quite a bit better than I did here. But that's just to show you that you can have this plane with having no gyro, no nothing, to having AS3X in a span of 5 minutes.
Yeah. So RC Air Marshal, if you're here, go ahead and drop that link to the playlist for the forward programming stuff, because it's pretty cool and it works pretty good. It's not that hard. It seems intimidating at first, but if you have something,
Ray, I'm going to leave the stream on this phone.
Go ahead. We can still hear you on the other one.
Okay. You can talk about Xflies now because we got pizza. We're going to eat a little bit.
Oh, okay. Was that Jack?
We'll still be here. We'll still be here, but we're
okay.
Eat it.
Yes, Jack's favorite time of the night.
Stuffing face. So, yeah, we were able to fly the Xfly. I've been flying it already for a while in the Hawk, and it's been pretty dang awesome. There's no other way to put it. The Hawk is already a good plane to begin with, and it was the one that I had was already pretty fast with what it had, which was the 1930 KV, the old FMS. But once I put that Xfly in there, the plane just totally changed. I have a I didn't have the new 2100 that comes stock. Nate, unmute when you're done. I'm going to mute it for now. So I had the I didn't have the 2100. Well, now a lot of people have the 2100. I have a 2100 in the new airframe that I have in the new plane that I have. But the 2200 kV, it was just 2200 kV, and the way that the Xfly is made totally changed the plane. Made it so much better in all kinds of ways. I still was able to get crazy long flight times. Let's see, I was able to get over 18 and a half minutes just putzing around at a little above quarter throttle, because it barely draws anything. And the way that the plane's designed, it actually helps with the fan being a little bit more recessed in the housing. It cleans up the airflow, makes it better, and helped quite a bit. But I knew that the Hawk was, may not be the best plane to see how much of a difference, because I already had, it was going to be kind of a big jump. So I'm like, okay, so let me put it in the F5. So I put it in the F5. I plan on putting one in the Eflite F-18, which is another one I'll be able to tell the difference too. And then and then Nate saw, oh, well, I'm just going to put one in my Gripen. So Nate put it in the Gripen. And when we flew that day, Nate's Gripen was a totally different plane. So it was basically like what happened with the Hawk, but on a different level. I mean, even more so, because the plane picked up everything in every way. Not only did it have more thrust at the low end with the same amount of amp draws before, but it moved a lot more air. So when you put the plane on the ground and just barely put one tick over idle, the plane starts moving. That's a sign that it's really clean and it's really quiet. So now there's another thing though too, that, and people didn't understand this when I said this the first time. I said if you use a really high C pack, the plane will, the motor will draw a lot more than what you're expecting. And people were like, well, that shouldn't matter, blah, blah. Come on, whatever. I'm not talking just theory. I'm talking about what I've seen. So when I did that test last week with you guys, I think you saw that, because when I used the 65C 6000, the amps were through the roof. It was using like 100 and almost 130 amps. And that was on low timing. So once you go down in battery size, it'll use less. So, I mean, and it's not size, it's C rating. So if you use a really low resistance, low internal resistance battery, like it's a really high C battery, it's going to use a lot of amps. But if you don't want to, you can use a smaller, well, lower C battery, and it'll be fine. So I used a 30C 5000. Actually worked great. Still put out quite a bit. I think it was 122 amps is what it pulled, but it didn't overstress the battery. So I tried a few different packs in the one that I flew over the week, last week. I flew the 30C and I flew the 40C. I tried the old 65C 5000s that I have, but they weren't that good. Those are 2 years old, so they're pretty much worn out. I need to get something else that's a little better. Probably going to get some Sukokens and try those. But it was really impressive with the new and see, airvacs, that's what people don't get. And that's what I was trying to explain to people. When there's less resistance in the battery, it's going to dump as many amps as it can. When it does that, it's actually hurting the flight time. It's great for performance, and it's going to be great for actual like watt meter readings. Now the 65C 6000 that I used, there was like no voltage drop on that pack. When I punched it, it was still 3.82 per cell at full throttle with at peak. It took a long time to drop below that, so it was great. But whenever you're using a lot more amps, that current is what dictates your flight time. So when your amps go up, your flight time goes down. So Nate, when you're ready to come back, tell me, I'll put you back. Your volume's still on. It's just
Give us like 10 minutes. We're like
Okay.
munching pizza, dude.
No worries. It's just full screen, but you're still there. Just talk when you're ready. Yes, using a lower resistance pack, high C pack, and that's why I say this. Using a high C pack, you will get crazy high readings. It'll be good. But the downside is not only will that pack give a lot more amps, it's also going to be heavier. So I like to make a balance. The packs that I usually stick with are going to be like a 30C or a 40C, and I usually don't go over that. Now, when Nate flew his Gripen with the 40C pack that I have, as opposed to some of the 60C packs he has, that thing went ballistic. It was crazy. I mean, it was.
That's because my packs are like a year old.
Yeah, your packs are older, but still, it was a lighter pack, and weird ass. It's a lighter pack, and it's a newer pack, but they're also the China Hobby Line G Plus, which are really good, really low resistance packs, and they're actual true C packs, which are good. But then, as I said with my F5, we had some problems with the first couple flights, and you could hear it. So then I decided, oh God, stop that. Nobody can see that. I'm glad they couldn't. Your butt. So I'm actually going to do a members only video with those things too. So Nate, go ahead and hold that up. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. So guys, if you want to, there's Jack again. I'm going to be doing a members only video with this craziness that Nate has done. He does this as a joke. So I'm going to do a members only video. So if you guys want to see some of this craziness that he and I do.
They're flying. Are you doing this weird filter?
So anyway.
Badass.
Okay, put it away. Put it away. Okay, so anyway, go away. So we're going to make a members only video of that stuff, so you guys can see, because he's always doing that. It's kind of funny. It's annoying at sometimes, but it is funny. Okay, so with my F5, we had some older packs. They're 2 years old, and they've done really good, and they still do good with lower draws. But the Xfly was really hard on them. So I ended up doing some test on the ground to see why they were sagging, and I could see the batteries were still working, but they weren't putting out what I knew they could. So I had to use a different pack, and then when I did that, the plane leapt to life. It was good. But the F5 was already fast. But the biggest difference that I've noticed with the Xfly is that when you accelerate, when you go from nothing to full, the plane jumps forward. With the FMS, didn't quite do it the same. The FMS is a really good setup, and it's low amps. So the FMS setup 2100 kV peak with the best batteries I have is right around 114 amps max, and that's good. It's actually really good. The sound it makes, all of that. So it's good all around, and it puts out a lot of power, much more than the comparable free wing setups. But the Xfly, I didn't measure the thrust on the Xfly, but I know for a fact that it's making more thrust all throughout the RPM range just by the way it is. And that the free wing Gripen is where we really noticed it the most. The F5 I did notice too, because it's accelerating faster, and the climb right after takeoff was even better than before. So it was accelerating into the climb. Right after takeoff. The FMS would do something similar, but not quite as good. So, that's not a bench test. So what? Going off of what it is that I am a pretty good judge of what's working and what isn't, and I'll take video to prove it a little later on down the road. But overall, the Xfly does draw more than the FMS 2100 kV. Especially if you use a higher kV pack. If you want it to be comparable to what the FMS 2100 kV is, use like a 30C 5000, or even a 30C 4000 will work. and you're not going to overtax the batteries.
Hey, GB wanted to see something real quick. Can I just like show him?
Let's see. You're on. Go.
He wanted to see it with the XBO, the
Okay.
Xbox headphones.
He's gone. So there will be a video of that later.
With the Xbox headphones.
Later. But there'll be a video compilation of all these craziness. You got to send me that picture too so that I can add it to the compilation. So if y'all want to see it, I have a link in the description showing how to join. I appreciate it if you join the channel. And I'll give you guys some backstage passes. What kind of pizza, Nate?
We eat cheap pizza, but we're just munching the breadstick now.
What is it? What kind of pizza?
It's round table, dude.
Okay.
Yum, yum, yum.
So I do have a couple of Xflies coming. Yeah. Yes. Airvex. One thing Nate noticed with his gripping, when he's done stuff in his face, he can tell you too. When you're doing high alpha with the gripping,
Yum, yum, yum.
before you could do high alpha and come along really low, and in order to get enough speed to climb out, you'd have to nose over, go forward for a few feet, and then start to climb. But you could never go straight up. You'd have to, climb at a 45-degree angle. What he was able to do with the grip, and I think you could see it in the video, he could go along high alpha, and then as soon as he was ready to punch out, the nose is already pointed up. He just punched the throttle, and it would climb out.
Yeah, man.
Before, he used to have to go like this for a little bit and then climb, and even then he couldn't go full straight up. He'd have to go at an angle.
Oh yeah.
So it's much better now. One of the plane that I'm expecting to get the most out of right now from the Xfly, as opposed to the FMS 2100, is the Eflite F-18, and it's not going to be speed; it's going to be thrust. I want to see how much more thrust I can get out of it. I'll use some slightly different batteries. I've been using my newer 30C6200s in my F-18, and they're working really good with the 5100. I mean, with the 2100 kV. So I'll change that thing out in the next couple days before this weekend, so I can get it going. Oh, the Fred Barron, thank you, my friend. You always come through every Monday and drop a PayPal link. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, the F-18, I've already got the 2100 kV in there, and that helped a lot. It cut my takeoff distance in half. So, judging by the way the new Xfly unit works, it's going to be even better, because my F5 is even more ballistic now. And I flew it with a 30C and a 40C, and it worked. Dingus. Shut up, Nate. So look, yeah, oh yeah, there's. Anyway, we're gonna, like I said, if y'all want to see this goofy compilation of these things he's done, go ahead and join the channel, and you'll get to see the members only videos that are coming up. So let's see, before the beyond the hearings, are there 80
Look at the camera.
where you think it would be? Bleh? What'd you do? You took the. Oh, wow. Looks like, oh, that's weird. Don't do that. Airvex, yeah. So the benefit to okay, so the pros and cons of the Xfly fan. Oh my God, that looks like my son. What the heck? Look at that. Do that again. That looks like my kid. That looks like Corey when he was a baby.
Maybe right.
That's funny. So I have Xfly 70 and 80s, but I'm only putting it in the 80 for now. The benefits to the Xfly. The design has made it so that the airflow going in is cleaner. You're going to get more. Jesus, I'm going to have to just put you off to the side for a minute. You're going to get more thrust. More thrust at the same RPM setting as you would with the free wing. That's what I've noticed. Quarter throttle with the Xfly is equivalent to almost half throttle with the FMS setups. Not quite half, but you can tell the difference. And this is just seat of the pants now too. This is not like full on, full scientific, but you're getting more performance all throughout the rev range on the Xfly. The only downside is if you, and like I've said, if you're going to use a high CPAC, you're going to use a lot more amps at peak. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 13 more amps peak than you will with the FMS 2100 kV.
Hey, Ray, I got something to say.
Say it, you're on.
12 to 13 more amps peak than you will with the IC pack. You're going to use a lot more amps at peak. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 13 more amps.
Okay, he's done. If you guys want to see more of that, you know where to get it. So the difference between low and high timing, kind of hard to explain, but it depends. It's if you know anything about regular cars, depends on when it fires. It works the same with electric motors as it does with gas motors. Certain motors require certain things to get the most out of them. Depends on the amount of poles you have, depends on the wind, a bunch of different things with electric motors. This is a question from Twin City Moo, which is actually really good. But we're just going to stick to what we know for now. The motors that we use in our EDFs are usually 4-pole motors, and 4-pole motors work best with the timing set at 4 to 7 degrees. And what that means is just when it's actually going to go through its power stroke and when it's going to make when it's going to fire to make it spin. So it makes it so that it's anywhere between 4 to 7 degrees is what works best for the 4-pole motors. When you start going above, it's kind of the same way that it is with the car. To be conservative with the car, if you don't want it to run hot and not have a crazy amount of power, you pull the timing back just a little bit. If you want to get more out of it, and you have a cam that's capable of doing it, and, you know, with electric motors, the wind or the kV is going to be more like the cam. You can advance it a little bit more. If you go too far, the car's just going to overheat, or in this case, the motor's just going to overheat. So with the 4 poles, once you go above 4, anywhere from 4 to 7, once you go above that, depends on the motor, it depends on the wind. You may not gain any RPMs. You might just gain amp draw and heat. A lot of times that's what happens. So I usually stick to 4. I have some ESCs where you can adjust like 1 degree at a time, which is actually kind of cool because then you can actually really see what it's going to do. But the best place to start is somewhere between 4 and 7. I usually stick to 5, 5 degrees advanced for timing on the 4 poles. Now I don't know where there's a guide, but it tells you what to do. Like for outrunners, you don't have to use low. You can actually use some different timing settings. But like I said, I don't like the use of outrunners and EDFs because they tend to draw more amps than what a comparable in-runner will, and they won't give you the RPM. So yes, I know they say that the equivalent outrunner KV to in-runner KV, they're supposed to be the same. They're supposed to be, but they're not. You're not going to get as much. There's more rotational mass with an outrunner, so you're not going to be able to get the same speed. You will get a lot more torque, but you're not going to get the same speed. So Twin City Moo, I hope that answered the question. So just for what we're talking about here, the 4-pole in-runners need to have low timing. And that is the best blend of RPM and heat.
We're done, Ray.
Okay. Volume is crazy loud. You might want to turn the gain down.
What?
Huh?
It's not now, maybe.
Probably because I was putting my hand over the mic.
My volume's high too. Hello, Jack. So,
He doesn't want to be on
Eddie
camera.
Cho, yeah, he has the Xfly too. There's more thrust. And, there is a downside. You are going to use more amps.
That was really good.
You can tell because now you're buzzing. What the hell?
I know. It was my adrenaline rush. Well, not that I get scared on maidens. If we get off the stream and the wind is calm before it gets too dark, I'll sneak in that P-47 maiden real quick.
It's 8:15. It should be pretty close to getting dark, huh?
Yeah, it's not that dark. You can fly your plane to the point where you can see it up until about 9. After 9, it gets a little sketchy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I kind of want to fly it tonight, though, but we'll see.
So I think we pretty much covered everything we wanted to. The Xfly thoughts, recommendations. Yeah, forward programming, F-16. We did all that stuff. So now
I go fly my airplane.
let's open it up for questions if anybody's got any before we get going. Because I see we're already down to 20 people, so hopefully you guys are able to get what you needed to out of the stream.
Bob, you're funny. Bob, I know you're watching. You're pretty funny. He texted me. He's like, "Hey, Nate, fix your hair again."
Good explanation. I think that's crazy. That someone's going for it.
You're funny, Bob.
Yeah. Twin City Move. From
I
what I've noticed,
I just saw your message, GB.
from what I've noticed with most of these, most of the ESCs that get sent in planes, they are set at medium timing, and everything else is high. So,
Fred,
just check.
Fred, it's pretty damn good, man. It's pretty damn good. It's good. It's awesome, Fred. You'll love it.
Let's see. I'll post the video if you guys haven't seen the video already.
Homeboy knows we're gonna be doing some buttery landings. I'm joking. I'm not gonna deny it, but
So here, check this out. This is the video from
big head.
This is the video
Butter.
that I did over the weekend of Nate's F-16. Take a look.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna deny that F-16 landing in the video. Like, that's pretty
Chris, auto isn't necessarily bad, but I have noticed that on auto sometimes it will the amp draw will be kind of high. It's not supposed to do it, but it will do it sometimes. Twin City Move, I'm going to give you a wrench too. I didn't realize you didn't have one, but now you do. Good question too, by the way. And yes, I do plan on getting the F-16. I'm going to get an ARF Plus because I've got all the components. Xfly was nice enough to send me an ESC as a gift for some reason, which I really appreciate. So I'll be able to use that ESC and the F-16, and I'm going to put an Xfly in that and see how that goes. Then we'll be able to compare mine with Nate's.
Like the 21.
And I'll be using the...
Let's get that up there. Oh!
I'll be using the
Casadingus.
a different receiver as well, so we'll be able to compare, see how they fly together.
He's not gonna do anything. If he falls off the box from up that high, that'd be kind of funny.
So, any other questions before we go, Phone Boy? You're cracking me up.
Cat's an idiot.
Is Victor still in here?
Hey, Bob, I'll send your F-16 file later, dude. I'm like kind of busy, as you can tell. I don't. You can you can get it off the Spectrum website too if you really want it that bad.
Is that Big Bad Barbecue Bob?
Yeah, and it's not that hard to set it up. Besides, if you're wanting me to send you the file for doing the ESC thing, that's not saved in my radio. That's an ESC thing. When you reprogram the ESC in the radio, if I give that to somebody else's F-16, it's not going to transfer because the ESC is the ESC. It's not an RX thing.
That's great if you think
Nate.
I don't think it is. I saw your video. It looked like it was. I think it'll work fine. Isn't that the same way Max set his up?
Well, no, in the sense of his had to be mounted a different way for it to work. Like usually the Hobby Eagle, it's pins back flat or on its side. His wouldn't work that way, but if he turned it 90 with the pins facing towards the left wing, it worked fine.
That's all that matters. If it works.
If it works, it works.
If everything's going the right way, that's all that matters.
Yeah. If that was what you were, if that's what you wanted, Bob, if you wanted the ESC settings, now that's specific to your ESC. It's not an RX thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I want to check how light it is because I do kind of want to fly this P-47. Although I have like 20 minutes. We should.
Yeah, we're gonna get going anyway because we've already dropped down to 21.
I can fly tomorrow morning, but I'm so antsy to fly it. I've had it ready to fly for hours now. It's just been so windy.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. It's already down to 20 people, and I'm not getting a whole lot of questions. So, I think we're probably going to end it. So, Thank you guys for being here. We've been here a little over an hour, and I think we covered a lot in an hour. Just got a chat from Sammy Rogers. He said, thank you to Nate for taking the time to explain the forward programming thing.
Yeah. Again, that was like a quick and dirty, like, whatever. If you want like the rail thing, Dave has like, I don't know, more than 10 videos. Is Air Marshal
still here, or is he gone already?
I don't know. You know, Air Marshal on the Zoom the other night, man. He could still be messed up from last Friday, dude. You don't even know.
Yeah, no, Air Marshal. He may not be
Bob.
here, but let me look up RC Air Marshal's channel real quick, and then that will then we'll go from there. RC Air Marshal. Page. Let me get that, and then I'll put that in there so you guys can see that before we go.
Oh yeah, GB.
Man, what's RC Plane Reviewer has been putting up a lot of videos too. He did an F-16 video. That was really good. He showed how the plane worked. So, click here.
John Henry, no, not really. But if it's an EDF and I notice the ESC has medium timing, I'll change it to low.
Yes.
Prop planes, you can leave them in medium.
Well, again, it depends on the motor.
Yeah. Here, Ray, I think I'm going to take off because I want to.
Okay, go ahead. I'll see you later. We're going to get out of here. Go ahead and drop it. Bye, Jack.
You guys.
I'm just going to drop the link for
all right.
programming stuff.
Bye, y'all. Good seeing you guys.
So here, I'm just going to give you guys this playlist, and then you can choose. Actually, here's the ones for the AR 6317. Copy link. I'll drop that in there, and then you guys can take a look. What's up, John Henry? Wrench. But yeah, take a look at his series. He explains it better than they do anywhere else. So the AR636 is the one that he's done the most. But yeah, so take a look there. And I think we are going to get on out of here. But thanks for coming by, guys. I very much appreciate it. And any questions, put comments. You can comment on the stream later, and I'll come back to you if I need to. Other than that, I will see y'all next week or on other people's live streams throughout the week. I'm going to be busy with fiery booties for the rest of the week, and then I will see y'all another time. All right, have a good night. And again, thank you to Fred Barron for contributing to the channel. He always does every time. Much appreciated. Don't think I don't appreciate it. I do. And if you guys want to see me acting crazy and acting goofy, look in the description and join the channel, and you'll get to see some behind the scenes craziness. All right, y'all. I'm getting out of here. Have a good night.